Hey guys, today I wanted to take a few minutes and talk through our unit conversions, maybe talk about it in a way that makes it a little bit easier to understand. Hopefully you've done the Ed puzzle and you've looked through the slideshow. It has really great tips and information on how to do it, but I'm going to give you a video as well and just break it down for you. First, I would like to share my screen and look at this poster that everyone has access to on Classroom. Okay, this poster has an acronym for us, something that'll make it easy for us to remember what our conversions mean. And if we look at it, we're going to be able to see which direction to move our decimal when we're converting and things like that. And one thing that's important to note is every time you do a metric conversion, everything is based on the number 10, which actually makes the math so much easier to do, because when you're multiplying by 10, you are moving your decimal to the right, or when you divide by 10, you're just moving your decimal to the left. You don't really have to think about it. Like if you do, let's say, English conversions, inches are a little bit more difficult because there's 12 inches in a foot. And 12 plus 12 plus 12. That's a little bit harder to do. Of course, it's doable, but it's a little bit harder to do than 10 plus 10 plus 10. Like, that's pretty easy. And that's why we do metric conversions, because it's a standard way of doing things that the whole world understands. And they're just, honestly, they're just easy to do. So let's look at this poster here. The acronym is King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. Now, I know that's kind of a silly acronym, but it helps you remember the order of these measurements. The prefixes are kilo, hecto, deca, then our unit, our base unit, and then deci, centi, milli. One thing to think of, if you were to convert, let's say, turn centimeters into meters, all you have to do is find the decimal point in your number and think of this chart, which you could always have in front of you when you're doing an assignment. It's actually a great idea to do that. You find your decimal, and if you're going from centimeters, for example, to meters, you find centi, which is right here, and we're going to meters, which means we take our decimal point and we move it 1, 2 spots to the left. You didn't even have to honestly think about math. You just had to move your decimal point, because each time you move it, that's dividing by 10 to the left. Or if we went from kilometers to meters, that would be moving our decimal from 1 spot and then 1, 2, 3 more spots to the right. That's the same as multiplying by 10 3 times if you move your decimal spot 3 spots to the right. You might hear me say the word jump. How many jumps did your decimal move? Did it move 1, 2, 3, 5, like whatever? How many jumps did it move? And you might also find me asking you, what direction did it move? If you go from meters to kilometers, your direction was left, and the jumps were 1, 2, 3. If you went from, I don't know, deci to centimeters, you would be moving to the right, and your jumps would be 1 jump to the right. And what to remember about each jump is you're either multiplying by 10 or dividing by 10. But luckily, since it's by tens, again, you just got to move the decimal place, and that's doing the math for you. It's kind of cool, actually, when you think about it. What I want to do is I've got some practice problems here. These are not problems I'm going to have you do. I'm just going to work through them so that you can see how it's done. So let me share my screen here as well. This first question says 489 centimeters, but we want meters. So we find centi on our chart, and that's where we're starting. And if you see a number here and there's no decimal point showing on the paper, we know the decimal point is always to the right, and that's just where it is. So we're going to go from centi to meters with no prefix, so centimeters to meters. If we look at our chart, we're going from the centi spot and we're going left 1, 2 times. So we take our decimal and it goes left 1, 2 times. And the new answer here is 4.89 meters instead of 489 centimeters. Same thing with this next question. It's going from centimeters to millimeters. So we look over at our chart here. It's going from centi to milli. This time, we're not going left, we're going right. So our decimal goes 1 jump to the right. So we take where it starts. This time they give us the decimal. It starts right here, and we go 1 jump to the right. So 32.45 becomes 324.5. Again, this next one, it is going from millimeters to centimeters. So it's kind of the reverse of the one we just did. We find milli on our chart, and we go to centi. So our decimal jumps 1 spot to the left. This is another one of those where it doesn't show us the decimal, so we just know it's on the far right. That's just where it is when they don't show us. And it goes 1 jump to the left, which means we get, instead of 31, it's 3.1 centimeters. Okay. Then this next one, we go from meters to centimeters. So we go from the middle here, the unit, over to centimeters. So we go 1, 2 jumps over to the right. So that means our decimal here goes 1, 2 jumps over to the right. And 11.24 becomes 1,124. Put our little comma in there. The next one is millimeters to centimeters. So we're going milli to centi again. We start at milli. We go left 1. So we take this decimal again. If they don't show us 1, it's always on the far right. And we're going milli to centi. So we go 1 to the left. And our 42 becomes 4.2. Okay. Hopefully you're catching on like, oh, we're doing math, but we don't really have to think about it. We just move our decimal because every time we move it, we are dividing or multiplying by 10, and that's pretty cool. Let's do this last one here, millimeters to centimeters. So we start at milli, we find centi, and we realize that is 1 jump to the left. So we take our decimal. Again, if they don't show us it, we know it's on the far right, and we're going milli to centi, so 1 jump to the left. And that means 959 becomes 95.9. Now, this is with length. It could be volume. It could be mass. It could be all kinds of different measurements, centigrams, centiliters. Like that part doesn't matter. It's the prefix that matters when we're converting. And also this one kind of focused on meters, millimeters, centimeters. It could have thrown in kilometers or decimeters. You take the number and the unit they give you to start with, and you make it finish at the number or unit it wants you to wind up with. So that is how you convert units. I'm going to shift this over to your assignment. If you look at this slideshow, you can see a few things. There's the title slide. The second slide, again, it has a video of someone breaking it down kind of the way I just broke it down for you. It's a good video to watch. It's pretty quick. The third slide has our conversion chart, which is very helpful. Again, keep looking at this chart to help you make your little jumps. But let's look at the first slide here, for example. Convert 1,600 meters to kilometers, okay? On each slide, you're gonna tell me, okay, what's the answer? You're gonna tell me, did my decimal move left or right? And then how many jumps did it move to get my final answer? Now, for each of these slides, I've given you a couple options. You can just simply type in each box and then boom, you're done. Or some people like to work these out on paper, and that's completely fine. If you want to handwrite, work these out on paper, you can snap some pictures and paste them in these slides. That is completely optional. That is completely up to you. You do not have to do that. But if you would like to, boom, it's an option. So, for example, 1600 meters to kilometers, go back to your chart. You find the meters, which is in the middle. Kilometers is 3 jumps to the left. So you would go 1, 2, 3 jumps to the left. Again, the decimal's on the far right if it's not given. So 1, 2, 3 jumps to the left. Our new answer for this one would be 1.6 kilometers. That's your answer. Now, did your decimal go left or right? If we went meters to kilometers, so from here in the middle all the way to the left, well, that's our answer for that one. It's going to be left. And then how many jumps? Let's go back. Meters to kilometers, it's going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left. So you are going to put 3 because it made 3 jumps to the left. Again, there's your answer for this slide. You can simply just type them in, or if you prefer to do these on paper, you can snap little pictures and throw those in there as well. I want you to do it in whatever way is the easiest for you. So keep that in mind. As always, that's how we do conversions. And if you find yourself working through these and you need some help, please, 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 please send me an email. I'm going to answer all your questions as best as I can. Refer to this video, refer to the video that was posted on Classroom from YouTube, look at the chart. All these resources are available to help you out. So good luck with this assignment. This big assignment you have until Sunday night, so you got several days to finish it. And again, if you have any questions, let me know so I can help you out.